Tonight on Best Beers in Me, we're going to review our first Cold IPA.
We're back.
Guys, thanks for stopping in here. Best Beers in Me, beer reviews from Maine, New England, and beyond. Today we're going way beyond, all the way out to California, to Karl Strauss Brewing Company. Collab with Sierra Nevada. What's cooler than being cool? Cold IPA. So I've never had a cold IPA. I've heard a lot of talk of cold IPAs lately.
So it's a cold IPA because of how it's brewed?
It is. It says on the can. You can read it if you'd like.
Yeah, I don't have my glasses on.
Very clear looking, very lagery
I can
looking.
Smell it from here.
So it says on it, what's a cold IPA? What's this beer taste like? What's cooler than being cool? And it says, hey now, one question at a time please. A cold IPA is brewed with lager yeast, fermented at a slightly warmer temperature, inviting the hops to be the star of the show. While the addition of flaked corn makes this beer super dry, crisp, and oh so drinkable. It's bright and citrusy with a pop of tropical fruitness and notes of sweet grapefruit. As for what's cooler than being cool, the chance to collaborate with the absolute legends at Sierra Nevada feels pretty close, don't you think? This says Collab Series 204. So I'm not sure what that is. Brewed and canned by Karl Strauss Brewing in San Diego, California. And there is no canned on date, best by date or nothing. And it is a 6.9% cold IPA.
Last year when we went to Vegas, when we went into California, was it Sierra Nevadas you were looking for?
No, Russian River.
Oh.
Who just came to Maine, and we're in Portland, for Allagash Friendship Day.
That has a different smell.
And she's not impressed.
Oh, I didn't say I wasn't impressed. I said it has a different smell.
I'm talking about Russian River being in Maine.
Oh, no.
Had I known ahead of time, which I didn't because I didn't see anyone post about it, might have taken the day off. Anyways, we're not talking about
I'm sure
Pliny the Elder. We're talking about this.
But I'm sure it did not last long.
Not getting a whole lot on the nose.
Not huge aroma, but
A little bit of grapefruit.
I'm not really sure what I get.
Very muted tropical. So it very clear. It's got a little bit of a chill haze on it, but you can totally see your fingers through the glass.
You can see the
It's a straw,
carbonation coming up in the middle.
yellow, clear
Is
looking
yours
beer.
doing that?
So, I guess we're going to dive in and see what this is all about. Cheers.
Cheers. My first thought is watery. Thin and watery. It's bitter.
Definitely bitterness. It's very thin. Big bitterness, actually. West Coasty.
I get the bitterness.
Piney bitter.
I don't get a lot of the tropical fruitiness that the description had. I honestly don't get much over the bitterness.
Piney bitterness. That's what I'm getting. Not a whole bunch. Not a lot of fruit.
I'm not a fan. There's really no flavor. It's just bitter.
There is flavor, but it's very
Muted.
muted, and that bitterness is really overpowering. West Coast bitterness, though. I like that.
So I like the West Coast beers that you've been kind of chasing. I think most of them. I like they're drinkable. This is just too bitter.
Too bitter.
For me, yeah. So it leaves, when it hits the back of your tongue, it just leaves a really heavy bitterness.
Yeah, it is very bitter, but it's also very crisp and it's light. It's thin, like you said.
So even though it's a 6.9, I think if the ABV was a little lower, if it was a little more sessionable, I think this is something you'd enjoy at camp during the day.
It drinks like it's sessionable, though.
It does. That's what I said.
Very, very bitter. And of course, we're not used to big bitter bombs.
Right.
It used to be back in the day, but I'm not a huge fan of it, to be honest. It's not terrible. It's not great. It's definitely not great.
Is this one of the beers you ordered from?
I got that from Craft Shack.
Craft Shack.
Gone Untapped. 1.1 thousand check-ins. 3.81. Everybody gives it. None of our friends have had this.
I would give it a 2.75, maybe.
Yeah, another sip before I rate it. Be around a 3.5 on that.
Yeah. See, you like that big bitterness. So I'm not saying that this isn't a good beer. If you like those real bitter West Coast style, that's just not my thing. So.
It definitely has bitterness. A lot of bitterness.
Yep.
and it's not very balanced. It's just
No,
bitter.
so the can, when you read the can, it said that it's bright and citrusy with a pop of tropical fruitness and notes of sweet grapefruit. I don't get any of that. I just, the bitterness is so overpowering that you don't get any of the flavors.
Bitterness is overpowering. 100%. Got it because I wanted to try a cold IPA. I haven't seen any of the main breweries making one.
So maybe...
I wouldn't have this beer again.
No. Maybe, you know how when you drink IPAs, like the big fruity IPAs, the juice bombs, you know how that can change your palate? So maybe if you drank these on a consistent, you know, on a regular basis, maybe your palate, you'd get used to that, you know what I mean? It would adjust and you'd get those flavors. I don't know, but I get none of them.
I get very light flavors. They're definitely, like you said, overpowered by the bitterness. So
I guess the only flavor I would say that I may possibly get, and I'm not even sure if that's what I'm getting, you know how sometimes, which I'm not a grapefruit fan per se as a fruit, but you know how sometimes you can get like a bitter grapefruit?
mm-hmm.
That would probably be the only thing I could maybe say I'm getting.
It's very old school, very much like a lot of the beers I drank 7-8 years ago before you were drinking beer.
I don't like the fact though that they don't even put a best buy date on there. You have no idea
canned on date, no
like
nothing.
how old this beer is. I don't like that.
I take it back. There it is right on here. Having a hard time reading what that says.
Where is it?
No. Well, I can see the 22 at the end.
It's like
5/4/22.
Really? Where do you see that?
It's there, but it's hard to see. I'm not sure.
You can't see it. There's no way.
It looks like it's like a brew date.
Is it a brew date or a best buy?
Yeah, I can't tell. It's very smudgy. But it is here on the label, so I didn't see it the first time around. It is there. I can't make it out, but it looks like something to do with May of 22. I don't know if that's when it was made or that's when they're saying drink it by. So I don't know.
So I like how Bissell does theirs right across the bottom of the can in a dark print.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see. And it's not a best buy, it's a brewed on date. I like that. I like to know how fresh my beer is.
I can't read that, so. I guess I don't have anything else to say about that. It's nothing I'm going to buy again. I will try another cold IPA if I ever see one, but I do like Sierra Nevada. I've never had Karl Strauss. I'm not going to seek them out.
No.
So, it is what it is. If you've had Karl Strauss Brewing, or if you've had any cold IPAs or can recommend any cold IPAs, let us know. Hit us down in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe. Do all the things.
All the things. Hit the bell.
There you go. Cheers, everybody.